Ba'ashim Yahushai, Barakatham to all the brothers of Israel, Shalom Yahweh Shamar, Ilatah Ba'ashim Yahushai, to all the sisters of Israel. This is the ISUPK, out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the one and only Commander John Yohana. You understand? Here to teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that they are the greatest people according to the Bible. You understand? That the Most High God, the only people that the Most High God even loves in the first place. You understand? This is the ISUPK Las Vegas Thursday scripture breakdown class. I'm preaching officer at 50, just holding it down temporarily until Officer Shabal gets here. Salakia for the late start. We were having some technical difficulties with the camera. Got that sorted out. So Salakia, but the water for y'all's patience. You understand? I got a couple of things. We're just going to continue off of where I left off from last Tuesday until Officer Shabal gets here, which is the book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 5. Before I get into that, I'm just going to ask that everybody does their part to make sure that they like and share, and also subscribe to the ISUPK Nevada YouTube page, and also like our ISUPK Las Vegas Facebook page. You understand? Make sure that you like and share all of our videos, and not just ISUPK Las Vegas videos or Nevada videos, but anything that has an ISUPK title on it. You understand? We're constantly putting out content to help our brothers and sisters, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have an opportunity for them to truly turn their lives around. You understand? And the only way that a Black, Hispanic, and Native American is able to actually truly turn their life around is by seeking out the Lord. You understand? And the way that you seek out the Lord is by getting under the banner of the ISUPK under Commander John Yohana. You understand? That is the only way that you can do that. So again, like I said, we're going to start off at the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 5. That's where we left off at this past Tuesday. So we're going to continue from there. If you've got that, young man, go ahead and read it when you got it, Baba Kashah.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
For all the gods of the nations are idols. You understand? So first of all, just to give y'all a little bit of context that may not have tuned into my class on Tuesday, and it ain't no thing. You understand? But the topic that I was going in on was being in the truth doesn't mean that you won't be tempted. You understand? Being in the truth does not mean that you will no longer be tempted. Okay, let me go ahead and get there my damn self. Psalms 96 and 5. Give me 1 second, Baba Kashah. Go ahead and read that again from the top.
Yes, sir. For all the gods of the nations are idols.
So all the gods of the nations are idols. You understand? So can you tell me what an idol is? Go ahead.
A celebrity.
Okay, it's a celebrity, but what is an idol though?
Somebody that you look up to.
It's somebody that you look up to. It's give me the no BS attached to it, just the dial down to the very point where there is no argument of what an idol is. What is an idol? When you boil it down to its what it really is. Go ahead.
Would it be someone you worship? Sir?
It's something that you worship, but a little bit more than that. Because, all right, we look up to the Most High God. We're supposed to worship the Most High God, right? So is he an idol? No. So what is an idol? So you're halfway there.
A false god?
An idol is a false god, but there's more to it than that. You understand? An idol is something that man gives power to have power over them. Does that make sense? Just like how, give me a celebrity. Name it. First celebrity comes to the top of your head. Denzel Washington. People want to be like Denzel Washington, so they try to talk like him, act like him, do the things that he does. You understand? Because they want to be like them. be like him. So in essence, the way that he walks his life has an effect on that person's life because they idolize him. They are worshiping him, trying to be like him, right? Now, mind you as well, we don't worship Yahushua Mashiach or Jesus Christ in the English. We don't worship him, but we walk after him. But in the midst of us walking after Christ, who are we worshiping in the midst of that? Go ahead. We're worshiping the Most High. Why is it that we're worshiping the Most High in the midst of that? Tell me why. Give me more on that. Go ahead.
Because we're worshiping his flesh, his son. I'm not worshiping but following his son's footsteps.
No, that's not the answer I'm looking for. Want to take another stab at it? It's because Yahushua Mashiach is walking in the ordinances and in the footsteps that the Most High God is. Do you understand that? So, in other words, all of the ways of the Most High God is the ways that Christ is walking, that he is going, and he does not deter slightly to the left or slightly to the right, or obviously way to the left or way to the right. He's perfectly straight and narrow in the path that the Most High had even set for us to walk in the first place. And Yahushua Mashiach is that example because he did it. You understand? He did it. And then, of course, gave up his innocent blood for our sake. And that's why he's getting the position that he's getting in the kingdom to be king of all kings. You understand? Do you understand that though? Or do you need more? Okay. So you understand what an idol is?
Yes, sir.
What's an idol?
Someone that you put before that man gives power to.
The man gives power to, so that essentially what they're doing has power to it. You know what a good example is? The LGBTQ and all these Greek and Roman homosexual gods and Kemet gods and whatnot. Those Kemet gods and Greek gods that they worship, or that gay white Jesus that they worship, gives them power to still be gay because they say it's okay. You see how that works? They idolize, they worship something that gives them power to their lifestyle that they want, that fits what they want. You understand? That's what an idol does, right? Because don't you have a choice to like Denzel Washington? You have that choice, right? Just like you got the choice to be a faggot. It's like to be a homosexual, a sodomite. You understand? You have the choice to be a drug dealer. You understand? You have those choices to worship those gods that will fit your lifestyle, right? Go ahead and read on.
Oh, yes, sir.
But the Lord made the heavens.
But the Lord made the heavens. Young man, do you think you can tell me what that means? But the Lord made the heavens. So I'm going to help you out just a little bit and see if you can give me the answer, right? For all the gods of we just got to stay in just this verse, right? For all the gods of the nations are idols, right? What does basically every god and no matter what pantheon, what religion, faith, what have you, what do they all basically have in common with what happens after death?
You go to heaven.
You go. There's a heaven. There's a place you go to, whether it's heaven or hell. In fact, I believe it's I think it was the Greeks. They just say like, no matter what, you pretty much fuck. You're going to hell. You're going to you're going to go dwell with Hades, the underworld. No matter how good or bad you were, that's what they believe, right? But for the majority, for the most part, there's a heaven, there's a hell, right? So now keep that in mind when it says for all the gods of the nations are idols. And then what we just discussed. So what we just discussed, what does that say about their heaven and hell and their concept of afterlife? What does that mean? Go ahead.
That man basically says what they say goes.
Give me more on that. Give me more on what you said, because you ain't necessarily, you're not wrong. I just want to understand what you're saying.
That basically that these other religions are saying, you know, certain things, but really the Most High is the one that made the true heavens. So we're following the idol isn't following the Most High.
Okay, you're right about that. But, you know, hey, Shalom on the Christ Trooper Halak, it's good to see you out. Good to see you in the class. Okay. So it says, for all the gods of the nations are idols. What do we already understand about idols?
It's something that man puts in power.
So what does that mean about the idols' heaven that they represent?
That it's false.
It's false, and further just empowers that individual's faith or not faith, further empowers that individual's choice in the lifestyle that they choose to have. Right? Does that make sense? So now, in other words, this is saying, now, first of all, that idol is man-made. That idol is man-risen, is empowered by man. Do you think the Most High God, Yahweh, is empowered by us?
No.
By anyone on this earth? What about all of Israel altogether? Be careful with your answer now. If you take all of us and every single one of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, let's say that each and every single one of us is either wicked or is righteous. Every single one. Does that alter the power of the Most High God, Yahweh? Huh?
You say all of us?
If let's say every single Black, Hispanic, and Native American is either wicked or he's righteous, does that alter the power of the Most High God, where his power diminishes or it strengthens?
I would say it would affect him. If you're talking about all of us.
Speak up.
I think that it would.
You think it does affect his power?
When you say all the chosen people going one way or the other, I feel like if we're all going one way, it's gonna make him feel stronger.
It's gonna make him feel stronger?
Or make him stronger.
You do realize that the Most High God damn near wiped all of us out because we was being wicked? That's the story of Noah. It was because Noah was the only person that was righteous, that kept any of the laws. His seed was spared. Damn near the same thing almost happened all over again with Moses, where he was going to wipe all of us out and start all over again with just Moses. You understand? So, and I did that. I said what I said in that form of a question on purpose. I wanted you to second guess it. You understand? Which in time, Lord allowed you stay in these classes. You know, you'll learn not to second guess it. You'll just know to hold on to that guide rail that I told you about. You just know, you just hold on to that, and that's that. As long as you don't, okay, hold on, he trying to trip me up. Let me refer to the guide rail. Man, ain't nothing on this earth is gonna take away from the Most High God's power, right? So with that being said, we don't empower the Most High God. The Most High God empowers us. All right? Reading on, it says, but the Lord made the heavens. So what is that saying? Put all that together. What is that saying? Go ahead.
The Most High made the real heaven.
What is the real heaven? If you don't know, that's fine. Ain't no thing. So do you know where heaven is?
The kingdom.
You're right. But do you know where that is? Not necessarily Israel. It's not that small. It's on earth. Did you know that you're in heaven right now?
No, I didn't know that.
Did you know that you're in hell right now? You see how I'm saying it? You're in both of them right now? Because heaven and hell both coexist here on earth simultaneously. You understand? I'm going to prove it to you real quick. We're going to hold that. We're going to go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. I'll read it for you. You understand? Yeah, that's it. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, now I'm going to read it slow. I want you to hear what I'm saying, all right? The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. The thing that hath been, it is the thing that shall be. You understand? You following? And that which is done, is that which shall be done. You follow me so far? If you got a question, raise your hand. Go ahead.
So what I'm getting out of it is if you living wrong or if you're doing wrong, wrong will come. Is that what you're saying?
That's not what that's saying right there. That's not what that's saying. I'm gonna finish it. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's no new thing under the sun. Actually, that's not even the verse that I want. It's lucky. That's my fault. That's my fault. While I get the actual verse that I meant to pull, it's a lucky. You want to break that down for me? Or ask your questions on how you think what that means?
I'm going to ask you to explain it to me.
Okay, read it from the top for me. Oh, you ain't there? No sweat. No sweat. Oh, it's in 3 and 16? There it is. I was off by 2 chapters and 7 verses. Salakia. Okay, so I'll go ahead and read it for you again. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So the thing that hath been, the thing that was already here, the thing that had already passed away, you understand, is that which shall be, meaning it will be again. Take, for example, what season are we in right now? We're in the winter, right? Is this the last winter we'll ever see if Christ doesn't return? Is this the last winter that the earth will ever see?
No.
Because there's going to be another one, right? So that was the thing that had been, but will be. All right, how does it say it? The thing that hath been, the winter was the thing that hath been. It is that which shall be. So there will be another winter. Now, mind you as well, that also applies to you yourself and myself. Anything on the face of this earth, all living things. You understand? Reading on. And that which is done is that which shall be done. So the actions that were done before will be done all over again, just like worshiping false idols and false gods. You understand? Having those temptations to get, kind of reel it back onto topic, those temptations of drugs, being a homosexual, adultery, you understand, being a thief, all of those temptations to steer away from the Most High God, that's already been done. And in fact, it will be again. It will be there again. It will, what does it say? And that which is done is that which shall be done. So it was done before and it will be done again. to put it all together. And there is no new thing under the sun. What's underneath the sun? The earth. The earth is underneath the sun. So if there's nothing new under the sun, what's new? Nothing. There's no new thing under the sun. This whole worship of of the East Indian god, the goddamn of the white man, of the African gods. You understand? Anything that you see on the face of the earth is already been here. Might be called by a different name, might be tweaked just a little bit, but it's same. You might not have known this because I mean, if your mind is as feeble as mine, because this blew my goddamn mind when I learned this. You understand? Did you know that at the time of ancient Egypt, they had vases? They knew how to craft it in a certain way that you can record your voice in it. That still you can still hear the voice and the message today in that vase. Did you know that? Blew my damn mind. What is that today, though, in modern technology? The device is different. It's different. It's not a vase. It's not a cup. It's not a bowl. But what can you do with this? You can record your voice and relay a message. Same, but different. Still same though. Go ahead.
But it's not new.
But it's not new. That's the point. It's not new. And that's the whole point to that, right? Okay, so now this is the actual verse I wanted to pull for you. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. You understand? And moreover, and this actually still goes with what we just read in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, though. So at least I wasn't too far off. You understand? Because mind you as well, what's under the sun? Earth? Is there anything new on the earth?
No.
Hold on to that. Book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Hey, Salaki, just real quick. Don't the Christians tell you that when you die that you're going to go up in the clouds?
Yeah.
Don't they say that, no, if you've been a good person. If you're anybody but Adolf Hitler, you're going up into the clouds, right? You could be the biggest child molester and this, that, and the other. As long as you ain't nobody as wicked and terrible as Adolf Hitler or I can't think of his doggone name. Them damn serial killers. What's his name? Buffalo Bill or anybody like that. I really don't. I ain't one of them weirdos who love serial killers like that. Ain't nothing wrong with, y'all liking your documentaries, but I rock personally. I think that's weird. Y'all glorifying a murderer. It's a lucky. That's coming from Iraq. But you had something to say?
No, sir.
Right? So, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Now, we just went over the fact that there's nothing new under the sun, right? So, people being judged on earth, it's not a new thing, right? Right? So if you're being judged on earth, what is part of judgment? A good reward and an evil reward or a bad reward, where you might be born with, an eyeball in the back of your head and a tooth in your coochie. You understand? You got 3 fingers. You understand? You got a half a nipple, an extra nipple. Or you might just be born as a goddamn. Well, that's not a judgment, but I think it should be a judgment. You born as a white boy. I mean, that would suck to be an Edomite. You understand? But that's not a judgment. That's just who they are. That's what he was created to be, that vessel of dishonor. You was born with a what's that called? Cleft lip. Thank you. With a cleft lip. You understand? You was born with some sort of deformity. That is a judgment. You understand? Those are judgments. And some of the judgments, because you can look at the so-called white man, some of them judgments don't happen right when you're born or as soon as you come back into the world. Because if that was the case, do you think that we would still be in the position that we are in today? His judgment is coming later. His judgment is coming when we finally get our stuff together, where we realize that who we are and what we're supposed to be doing. Because like the conversation we was having before class had started, knowing who you are, you can't even say that's it's part of the battle, but a very small part to it. Because you can know a lot of things, but what are you going to do with the knowledge? Right? Just like if you know that something is wrong and you watch, you know it's wrong to smoke a cigarette, but you're going to sit there and watch your brother smoke a cigarette and not say nothing. You might as well be smoking that cigarette your damn self because his blood is on your hands. Did you know that? You know what I'm saying? And like what we was discussing before, there are brothers who have that knowledge. Not to sleep with transgenders, but they doing it. Not to sell drugs, but they doing it. Not to do drugs, but they doing it. Not to steal, but they doing it. Not to love and lay down with our oppressors, interracial marriages, but they definitely doing it. You understand? So having that knowledge only does so much. It's actually acting out that knowledge and showing that you have that knowledge. That's what matters. That's what's important. You understand? And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness. Let me read that again. That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness. That inequity was there. So right there is letting you know that it's on earth, since that's underneath the sun, both righteousness and wickedness both are here. And what's the word that I use?
You said heaven and hell are both on earth.
They both coexist. They both coexist. You understand? Yeah, we'll even read verse 17. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. So God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. Where is that judgment going to take place? Yeah, man.
No.
Here on earth. Prove it. Prove it. Prove what you just said. Prove it. That's another thing you're going to learn in the ISUPK is that someone's going to be able to ask you a question and you'll be able to prove it. They'll ask you a question and you'll give them an answer with the proof, because we are not the Christian church. Where's your proof? What you just said.
Like you said, people are born with deformities.
I want a scripture proof. I want proof out the Bible. We just read it. We just read it.
Are you talking about verse 16, sir?
Hey, you answered. You responded to my answer. Or my question. Now I know where you at with knowledge for the most part. So I'm not going to ask you a question like that, a proof question outside of what I know you know. So in other words, I know you know this answer. Don't second guess yourself. Don't be afraid to be wrong. That's what this classroom is for. Hit me with it. Come on. Quit being scared.
I don't know.
You don't know? Man, verse 16. But you second guess yourself. Don't do that. Be sure. Be sure. Confidently be wrong. Be just as confident as you are when you know you're right as you are if you're going to be wrong. You understand? If you are going to say the wrong thing, if you find it in yourself to have the confidence to speak up out of uncertainty, thinking, okay, I think I got it, still speak up with the confidence like you are right. Bamboozle me. Because you know what? Check this out. You know who does that with all the wrong answers? Christian pastor. Don't he tell you with the utmost confidence that God loves everybody? Don't he?
Yes, he does.
Don't he tell you with the utmost confidence that Christ's going to, he's going to forgive everything that you do, no matter what, no matter how many times you do it? He said very confident, and it is convincing to some, right? Mind you, you're dealing with Christians. You're dealing with dumbass Christians. You understand? Just be strong and certain in all your answers. And do not be discouraged. You understand? But yeah, verse 16. So reading on from verse 17. I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. For there's a time for every purpose and for every work. So where is he judging the wicked and the righteous? Here on earth. So now we're going to go back to the book of Psalms, chapter, 96 and 5. But the Lord, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. But the Lord made the heavens. Now it says heavens in plural, right? With an S. Do you think you can tell me what those heavens, those plural heavens are that the Most High God had created? You know where heaven is. I'm gonna help you out. Go ahead.
Would it be the 12 different tribes of Israel?
No. Because our heaven, with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all of our heaven is going to be here on earth all together at the same time. You understand? So what are the that is one heaven. That's one heaven. But it says heavens. What are the other heavens?
I don't know, sir.
Well, didn't I just say that you live in heaven? You're in heaven right now? Whose heaven is it? Let's start here. You're in hell right now, though, right? Simultaneously. You're in heaven and hell right now, right? Whose hell are you in right now? You don't know?
No. I'm not.
Ain't no that. You want for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, this is hell. This is why we can build a whole goddamn country. We can blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Did somebody hit the door? Oh, lock it. Give me 1 second. It's like, where was I at? What was the last thing I just asked? Or even said?
Who's having it? Who's hell are we in?
Right. So the things that is going on with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? How we can fight a war. We can fight the wars for not only just America, but for Europe. You understand? For any of these doggone countries, for any of these nations. And Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans make absolutely they get no benefit for benefiting those countries. Mind you, you really think that the so-called white man would have any type of profit, would be anything in the North American soil if it hadn't been for the North Americans to even teach the colonizers on how to even dwell here in North America in the first place, with agriculture, with hunting, the whole shebang? Do you think that the colonizers would even have that opportunity to still be here if it hadn't been for the Native Americans? Because mind you, those pilgrims, them colonizers, they were about to die off in the middle of the winter. I think they were only, I don't even think they made it to the second winter. If they did, it was in the second winter. They were getting ready to pack up and go back. You understand? But it was the Gadite brothers, the so-called Native Americans, who helped them. But what benefit is the North Americans getting from showing them how to even dwell on this land? So with that, wouldn't you say that this is a place of hell where I can teach you, I can show you how to benefit this land? And when I do that, you make this land prosperous. You blow this land up in a good financial gain for you, but I get none of the benefits of it. Wouldn't you say that's hell? But in the same turn, on that same coin, on the other side, isn't that heaven? But for who?
For our people.
Who's that heaven for? That one gains and nobody else reaps the benefits of that gain.
The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
The colonizers, the so-called white man, because they're the ones who are the ones that came here, created all that prosperity here on America for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans not to get it. This is the white man's heaven, but Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, hell. You understand? Because you got to look at the gains and the losses. You got to look at how difficult it is for one to get a gain and how difficult it is for the other one to even have a loss in the first place. You understand? And with that, pass the class, the precinct officer 5000, Shabal.
I appreciate you.
You want a drink? I'm good. Thank you.
Hey, shalom. Hey, Most High in Christ, man. The water to this brother, Officer Rock, once again, man, for holding us down. You know what I mean? Slavery been hectic, you know what I mean, between the slavery and traffic, Salakia for the late start. But again, that's why, you know what I'm saying, we lean on this brotherhood and we lean on this sisterhood, you know what I mean? Because again, like we was talking about last week, you know what I'm saying, this nation is going to be built with a nation. You know what I'm saying? It takes a nation to build a nation. You get my point? So, you know what I'm saying? Again, we're on Facebook, ISUPK Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? You find us on YouTube, ISUPK Nevada. You understand? I'm going to piggyback on what that brother was just saying, because everything that brother was saying was on point while grab my notes and everything, because I know there was some questions in Second Ezra that I wanted to get to. And for time's sake, I'm probably not going to be able to get to all of them, so Salakia for that. Again, Lord willing, next week, I know I said this last week, but to the brother's point, you know what I'm saying, we're at the mercy of the oppressors when it comes to these slaveries. You get what I'm saying? And so that's why we call them slaveries. For those who might be watching for the first time, you know what I mean, and want to know why we always call, you know what I'm saying, these 9 to 5s, or in my case, 6:30 to almost 7 o'clock. Why we call it a slavery? That's why. You get my point? Because you get up early in the morning, you get up and go to the plantation when it's dark, and you leave the plantation when it's dark. Meanwhile, you're making them rich, while you, on the other hand, got just enough to pay the rent. Just enough to put a couple groceries in the house. You see what I'm saying? If you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you know what I mean? Your go-to meal coming up was top ramen.
Right.
To the point to where you convinced yourself that you loved it, even though you got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? You had your hand up?
Yeah, kind of. Sorry if I may. One way that you know that the Lord, is moving through this land, and that we really is coming to the end. Not only have we, been having a plague going through, but one thing that's been becoming, on more of a rise than even the spread of COVID is the spread of not unemployment, but people leaving their jobs because of what you just said. That people are actually getting into, you want me to do this 9 to 5. You want not even 9 to 5, 9 to 6 to 6. 9
infinity around this motherfucker.
Right. You want me to do all this, bust my ass for you when you only paying me so very little, and look at all the money that you making. Now, of course, they're not thinking on that big grand brain like that. Only the UPK is, but they're starting, baby steps. They're starting to get hit to that their life is more valuable than than a slavery,
right,
in the first place. That they're more important than that job.
Right. No, that's an excellent point, and that's the thing. And Shalom, brother, good to see you again. Salaki, I meant to say that from the jump. But what our rock was bringing out was so damn heavy, man. It's like what people have to understand. See, brothers and sisters in here, they understand this right here is a job. This is the work. This is something that we enjoy doing. This is something that we strive for.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is something that when we sitting in those chairs on that side, we're praying to the Lord that one day we'll be given an opportunity, Lord allowed, to sit in these seats.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you sitting back and it's like, damn, you know what I'm saying, man, I went from watching the classes online to actually teaching an online class. You know what I mean? It's almost surreal. You get my point? Man, I watch those brothers on them corners sacrificing their Fridays and their Saturdays. And now I get to do the same thing.
Right.
That's something that unless you in here, you'll never understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A person on the outside will say, don't y'all got anything better to do? No. If you in the world, yeah, you'll think that. You know what I'm saying? But this right here, this is what we love to do. This is what we look forward to doing.
Right.
We could be doing anything on a Saturday. You get what I'm saying? We all got families. You get what I'm saying? The kids, the whole thing, right?
Right.
But you know who else is our family? If you don't know, just look around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look at that brother next to you. Look at that sister next to you. You know what I'm saying? That's your family right there. And I can promise you that the family that you gain in here will treat you way better than the family that you had growing up with.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? And when I get done going over this second evidence and all that, if there's some time left, you know what I'm saying, I want to pick up what we left off last week. But because what you was bringing out was so heavy, man, I had to jump on that point because that's reality. The only one that wins in this situation is the colonizer.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I'll use myself as an example, right? The position that I currently have, and I say currently because anybody that know me know if the bread don't add up, I'm out of there. You get my point? I give it a few weeks, maybe a month or so. You understand? I get to look around, put that resume back out there, like what's happening. But the thing about it is how they have it set up is your salary, right? And so the way it breaks down is, right, you're paid for 43 and a half hours a week, right?
Mm.
The average route takes about 10 hours a day. The average route.
Mm.
So for those who might not, you know what I'm saying, be that quick with the math, that's 50 hours right there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Don't get a big route like the one that I just got done with. Now you're talking about 12 hours, 13 hours maybe. And that's just your route. That don't include coming back, putting the bottles back on the rack and separating the empties from the full, doing your end of day paperwork and all that kind of stuff. Now, because they're short staffed, to your point, you know what's happening? The company's falling behind on deliveries. So how do you solve that problem?
Or they start giving more incentive. Well, how about we just summarize it real quick? They start to show how much money they actually have that they're able to spend to make up for the loss of the employees, so that the current employees that either are coming in or still there pick it up a little bit more.
I wish that was the case.
Oh, they ain't doing that?
We're talking about now, mind you, we're talking about the oppressor, the colonizer, the so-called white man, any word that you want to use for the heathen. Come on with it.
They're just putting more work on the people that they already got.
Get a brother a hand. The sister said the same thing.
With no incentives.
So guess what? So guess what happens, right? You go from a Monday through Friday operation, off on the weekends, to where now you're a Monday through Saturday operation. Closed on Sundays with an asterisk next to it.
Right.
Because you got to read the fine print.
Right.
So now let's throw that Saturday in there. Right? So now you got the Saturday. So now you got Saturday in there. So if you're doing 5 10s, or if you do 3 10s and a couple of 12s, right? Now you're gonna throw Saturday in the mix. And you know what was said? It won't be that bad. We're gonna make it as easy as possible. So what is easy? 5 hours, 6 hours, that's easy. So you tack that on to the 54 that you done already did. Now you're talking about 60 hours for the week.
And still salary.
Meanwhile, being paid 43 and a half hours.
Right.
With no incentive. Unless you're a Class A driver.
Really?
So to your point, you know what I'm saying? For those who still don't understand that in 2022, we're on the goddamn plantation, we just ain't in the fields. We just ain't in cotton fields.
Right.
Except the so-called Mexicans. They're still in some kind of field. You get my point? But I mean, us as a whole, we still in the plantation. Whether, you know what I'm saying? You just not, it's not a horse and carriage no more. It's a truck. You get what I'm saying? Or it's a bus. Or
truck, bus.
What was you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, but at the same time, you still got that same method. Like we was talking about in Ecclesiastes 1:9. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Because how do you judge an engine's power?
Right.
Horsepower.
Exactly.
To your point, so likely.
You gotta push it to the limit, right?
But so what you said, truck, bus.
I mean, shit. Airplane.
Right, yeah.
Well, they ain't really fucking with us on the plane, though. We don't fit the criteria. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? But y'all get the point, though, right? So this to your point in the scripture you pulled in Ecclesiastes, there is no new thing under the sun. When you go back to Exodus, you know what I'm saying? When Moses went to Pharaoh, right? When Moses went to Pharaoh, he didn't even ask Pharaoh to stall Israel out on the slavery. He didn't say, "Hey, we ain't trying to work no more, man. We cool." He just asked Pharaoh, "Hey, man, we got this high holy day jumping off, man. Stall us out for a little bit, man, so we can go serve our God. And you know what I'm saying? Give us a few days, and we'll be back." What did Pharaoh say? The fuck? These niggas ain't working hard enough.
Is it double it?
You see what I'm saying? And made them work harder. So now think about the example I just gave you, and think about what happened back in Exodus. Now, in no way, shape, or form, before you dummies start being extra, in no way, shape, or form am I comparing myself to Moses. Okay, let's not be simple. The point is, you go back to Exodus, you know what I'm saying? He didn't think they was working hard enough. Here's some more work for you. You get my point? Not doing enough during the week? Well, now we're going to make you come in on your day off. Same goddamn thing. You get what I'm saying? Come on with it.
If I may, could you use that comparison in the context of like, because now we're starting to wake up to the truth and whatnot, or at least just wake up to who we are, not even just the truth. You know, you still got goofies going to KUIC and whatnot, right? But the fact that we're just waking up to who we are, can you use that comparison like that when teaching that with the story of Moses going to Pharaoh for the high holy days and stuff like that? Do you understand my question?
No, I don't.
Okay. So when you're looking at today, like how they're making the workload even more difficult on us because the Most High is inflicting them, right? So just like at the time of Pharaoh and Moses, you know, the rebuttal of Pharaoh is just up, you know, is basically up in the workload, up in the overseers, that whole shebang, which is basically what we're going over all over again. Still goes with Ecclesiastes 1-9.
Yes.
So can you teach that? Like, is that a good teaching point?
To use Ecclesiastes 1-9 to
not necessarily Ecclesiastes 1-9, but to bring what Ecclesiastes 1-9 with the story of Moses and Pharaoh on what is going on today.
Definitely.
So you can teach that.
Definitely, because if you're gonna pull Ecclesiastes 1-9, and then first you would start with Exodus. You would go there first. Right. You would go over that, and then you would pull Ecclesiastes 1-9, and then you would use an example from today. Right. You see what I'm saying? And that's how you would do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you would go with the old and then the new.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then you tie it all in like that. Okay. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Come on.
Okay, so one more question on that then. So that's also saying that what's going on today, the oppressor is actually hit to the fact that that's the Most High dealing with them, and that's why the workload is, you know, they're making it more difficult for us and not up in the minimum wage, not up in, you know, lowering the living costs and whatnot. Like they're making the burden, the living burden even more burdensome on us because they know what this is all coming from.
They know that their time. Some of them know what time it is. You know what I mean? Then others know that their time is short.
So that's also what I'm saying. Like, can you use that part as a teaching point? Like that in particular as a teaching point?
As far as them knowing that their time is short, no, because Pharaoh didn't know that his time was short.
At that point.
Right. But if you're talking about today's Pharaoh,
okay.
You see what I'm saying? Yes.
Okay.
Because today's Pharaoh, you know what I mean, comes in many different forms.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Today's Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying, is the Fortune, you know what I'm saying, runs a Fortune 500 company.
Right.
Where he gets all his bonuses. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you call in sick, you lose yours.
Right. Right.
You get my point? I had a slavery like that, where I was sick, you know what I mean? And I couldn't come in. And I lost my bonus and I lost my incentive pay. And I had to have consecutive amount of days without missing a day in order to get that incentive pay back. And I still didn't get the bonus back.
Wow.
Come on with it.
That sounds like slavery.
You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You see, the brother understands. You get what I'm saying? And that's the whole point. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what we are. And that's why we sit in these seats, and that's why we go in them corners. You know what I mean? Because what starts to happen is that we start to wake brothers and sisters up, and brothers and sisters start to separate themselves from the world and start to come together as one body. Then we start to topple all these governments. We start to topple over all these different pharaohs. You get my point? But the only way that we're going to be able to do it is as one, under Christ, though. Not under Jesse Jackson, not under Farrakhan. You understand me? Not under Creflo Dollar, anybody that you can think of. It's not going to work. How do you know that coming together up under one of them would never work? How do you know?
Because nothing good has come out of the Christian church in the first place. We still in the same condition.
That's true, but that's true a little bit more though, a little bit deeper though.
Because they're the only ones benefiting and none of their followers.
That's true as well, but it's something else that you're missing though. You're right. It's something else though.
It's like, can you repeat the question?
How do you know that if we came together under any one of those people that I mentioned, and anybody else that you can think of, how do you know that it would fail? Come on with it.
Because the Most High didn't say to follow under that banner.
That's true.
We're supposed to follow under the law, statutes, and commandments, under the banner under the shield of David. That's the ISUPK.
That's true as well. There's something else though. That's true as well. The sister said the Lord isn't with them. That's true as well, but it's something else.
I should know you're gonna say I'm gonna be mad.
Come on with it.
Is it because Christ hasn't come back yet?
No. No. It's something else though. On the lines of what you're saying though. You're right. It was just something specific that I was looking for though. But everything that you said was correct. For time's sake, I'm gonna give it to y'all. All right. Because it never worked in the past.
All right.
And if you did, and I missed it, Salaki. But that's the thing. Whether it's Garvey, MLK, any name them, it never worked. You know what I mean? It's never worked. You said Christianity, which I guess is one in the same. I guess. So to your point, yeah, you technically you said it, but that's like a blanket statement. You know what I mean? You got it. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for because I think about it. Was Marcus Garvey a Christian technically?
Right.
But was his revolution, quote unquote revolution, on some Christianity? It wasn't.
No,
Same thing with the Black Panthers.
Right.
Even though ultimately, because of their love for white women, well, it was Christianity. But the whole point is every so-called movement, you understand, that wasn't under the order of Christ, it all failed. And so you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be no different whether you fell up under, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z or Meek Mill or anybody else that you can think of. Right? So now there's a cat on here. I don't know who he is. All right, you can check him out on the you know what I'm saying? This cat named Stack. I ain't even gonna say his name. You know what I mean? Because he's trying to get some claim to fame on our page, right? So the cat say this is straight up racism. I've seen you morons in NYC when I was growing up. Everybody knows you learned this crap in jail. Not everybody in the UPK has been to jail, but I bet you've been to jail, and I bet you know what the inside look like, don't you? You're an embarrassment to the Black community. I know your name. I'm just not gonna give you the time of day like that. Nobody needs to know your name. You call us. Here's what's funny about this cat right here. He's calling us morons, but yet he's on our page.
Right.
That's how you know this nigga ain't got no life. Nigga, cracker, whatever he is. Because nobody in this school goes and watches a IUIC tape or a GOCC tape or none of those other tapes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we turn something on and we ain't feeling it, we're going to turn the shit off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might not have been in jail, but I'm you know what I'm saying? But just based on your comments, you're a little sweet. But that's okay, though. You know what I'm saying? If you're a brother, you can change your life. You know what I'm saying? There's room. You in NYC, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Captain Tazari, you know what I'm saying, to get you right. You know what I mean? This cats like this is why it's so hard for us to come together. Because of cats like this. He thinks this is racism, right? But yet, he doesn't think what the so-called oppressor or the so-called white man has been doing to us for the last 400 plus years. That's not racism. We reading out of this book, but you want to call this racism. But we reading out of this book, using the words from this book. So guess what? If we're racist, that means this book is racist. And you know what? You're right. You know what this is called? This is something that you wouldn't understand, so-called Black man. This is something that you wouldn't understand. This is what you call Black love. I know that's something that's foreign to you because you've had your head shoved up the white man's ass your whole life. I get it. You've been shucking and jiving and bucking your whole goddamn life. We don't do that in here. You understand? We men, we stand on our feet up in here. You get what I'm saying? You probably the cat that's scared to come home past midnight because you scared your wife gonna whoop your ass. You probably one of them cats. You know what I mean? But that's okay though. You know what I'm saying? You can come up in here and we'll get you right. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? You're the type that hates your people. You don't love your people. You know what I'm saying? Cats like this is in the way. Exactly. Officer resign. Newly raised officer resign. You understand? He knows what time it is. Brother say he wants to please his master. You get what I'm saying? You ain't about Black folks. Come on with it.
If I may, sir, I got the definition of what a racist is.
Come on with it.
For the brother.
Nice and loud, please.
Yeah, kind of what kind. This is racist in the Oxford Languages definition. Now, a person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic toward people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
Read it again a little slower, please, for the quote unquote brother.
A person who is prejudiced against or is antagonistic.
Antagonistic.
A person who is prejudiced against or antagonistic towards people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
Done. See what I'm saying? Just in case you didn't get it the first time. You know what I mean? The brother say the brother says remove him then, because I said he was in the way. So now, okay, I get you, brother. Ain't no problem. I get it. You one of those tough guys, big, strong, muscle head dudes. You know what I'm saying? You in the gym all day, or you shining up your pistols all day. I get it, brother. You super tough, and you just looking for some attention. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got it. You won't get no more though. You know what I'm saying? Come on with it.
Sound like the brother might have a heathen girlfriend.
You know what I'm saying? More time than not, he's probably married to a white woman. You know what I mean? Or got his feelings hurt by a white woman and doing everything he can to get her back. That's no problem. Listen, man. Hey, listen, man. If you want to get down with us, man, you know what I'm saying? There's room for you too, brother. Ain't no thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's okay, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you, you know what I'm saying, continue to internet bang and be tough and all that nonsense. That's fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue to teach this class because we're here to actually educate and edify our people, you know what I'm saying, and teach these laws, statutes, and commandments, which is something that you knew nothing about. Because if you did, then you wouldn't be coming up against us. I bet you don't bang on them Christian pastors the way you sitting here trying to bang on us. I bet you ain't doing all that. All that fake tough guy shit. I bet you wouldn't say that shit to Creflo Dollar. None of them niggas, you know what I'm saying, that got these girls out here being prostitutes and all these dudes out here being homosexuals. I bet you ain't got no problem with none of that. But as soon as a black man tell a black man to not hate another black man or not hate a black woman, but to turn his or her hatred in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you're talking about. You're a moron.
Right.
And all this stuff. You learned this in jail.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing about it is. Here's the thing about it is though, right? If we had this in this purest form, would none of us went to jail in the first place?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Come on with it. I'm done with this cat,
probably
man.
Martin Luther King fan too.
He probably listen, man. He probably had a cake and everything on MLK Day. You know what I'm saying? He probably was marching in the parade with the pom poms and the little trolley thing that the cheerleaders use. He probably had all that. You know what I mean? But enough of this clown, man. Beat it, man. Get the hell off our chat. Go find something better to do. You know what I mean? Go watch Dukes of Hazzard or something like that since you love the Confederate flag and all that good shit. You know what I mean? And go lay up under your white wife. She probably 6'4", 350 and probably whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? But enough of that, man. This cat, I'm mad that I even gave this cat this much of my goddamn attention. You get what I'm saying? It's real simple. If you don't like what the hell we talking about, turn the shit off. It's that simple. Right. If I hear a song on the radio, I don't keep listening to it and talk about how much I hate it. Man, you realize how stupid that is? The scriptures say, how long will you simple ones love simplicity? It's a simple cat right here. Right. You know what I mean? So that's it on that, man. Anybody have any questions outside of these second Ezra's questions I'm gonna go into tonight? I got a majority of them second Ezra's questions knocked down. I'm still working on chapter 12. Come on with it.
Yeah, come on, sir.
Yes, sir. Me and Officer Rock were talking about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question that pertains to our children.
Uh-huh.
And if someone violates our children in any way, whether it be sexual or abusive, is it okay for us to react violently?
Okay. So now, you know, scripture say vengeance is mine, said the Lord, right? So get that scripture for the brother. You get what I'm saying? You want to go there, right? That's the first thing that you want to do, right? And then the other thing that you want to do is you want to take the proper steps, right? So like, let's just say something like that happened, right? You want to file proper paperwork, you know what I'm saying, and create a paper trail, right? And so now what you've done is that you, like I said, you created a paper trail, right? Now you've made a formal complaint. And so now this is known knowledge, right? So now if something like that happens again, now you can react accordingly. You get what I'm saying? The thing is that we're not to be the actors, we have to be the reactors. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't go back and go and retaliate for some shit, you know what I'm saying, after the fact. You get my point? But if there's an attempt in the midst of, like, God forbid, I'm not gonna put this on nobody in here. God forbid, you know what I'm saying, you at the house and somebody try to break in. You know what I'm saying? By law, you have the right to defend yourself in your household. You get my point? But if nobody's there and somebody break in and you come home and find out that somebody broke in after the fact, now you starting this worldwide manhunt. You cannot do that. You get my point? Because trust and believe, you know what I'm saying, the Lord will deal with that person accordingly. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of time. Some of us think that because the punishment doesn't come right away that you got away with it. You don't. You never get away with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are under the impression that when you do something and nothing happens to you, that nothing won't happen to you. You see what I'm saying? But something can happen to you indirectly. It doesn't necessarily have to happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think in not just in movies, but in real life, right? Why do you think these cats that's big on, right? Why do you think they get them phone calls, do this, and this? Or I'm going to pull up to Bank of America, let's just say, because his wife works at Bank of America. And I'm going to go to 3rd Street Elementary School. And I'm gonna pay that school a visit. Why? Because he knows your kids go there. And next thing you know, you didn't change up your whole tone because you know, damn, he know where my wife work. Damn, he know where my kids work. You see what I'm saying? Now imagine you doing the things you doing, right? And you never go to jail, you never get shot, you never get jumped. None of those things ever happen to you. But yet they find out where you live, they kick down the door and they shoot up everything and everybody except you. Because you wasn't there. That's like death in itself, is it not? You get my point? And so that's why you don't want to take matters into your own hands. You get what I'm saying? You got that?
Did you want New Testament or Old Testament?
Both.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 35.
Uh-huh.
To me belongeth vengeance and recompense.
Uh-huh.
Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. In the book of Romans, chapter 17, the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord.
What did it say before you got to the saith the Lord? What did it say before that? As it is written?
For it is written.
For it is written, right? What does it prove that it is written? What does that mean? That's true, but specifically though.
Think about the question I asked before I read it.
For time's sake, I'm gonna give it to you because it's already 8:30. You want to answer?
Oh yeah, because it was in the Old Testament.
It was in the Old Testament. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because there's a lot of people that don't believe in the Old Testament, not understanding that the New Testament comes from the Old Testament. You see what I'm saying? How do you think Paul knew the things that he knew? You know what I'm saying? Where did he learn these things from? Where did Christ learn the things that he learned from? He got them from the Old Testament. You get my point? So that's how you deal with that though. All right. You always want to make sure that you handle it properly and deal with the chain of command. You know what I mean? And then that way, you know, if God forbid something were to happen again, you can say, hey, look, man, I tried to tell y'all, you know what I'm saying? Happened again, I had to do this. You get my point? So that's how you want to handle that. This cat is really
He's still going?
He's still going, man. What a loser, man. I'm not gonna get this cat no more of my time. Amazing. I mean, I can't listen, man. You know,
Oh, he wanted to pull up. Like,
you know,
in the trap. This so like
man, this brother right here, man. Look, hey, Lord be with you, brother. That's and you know what though? That's the thing though. That's what you don't understand. Despite all the foolishness, despite all the nonsense, we still got love for this brother, man. That's the crazy thing about it. You get what I'm saying? And we'll still have mercy on this brother and praying for this brother that Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, whether it's this class or another class, you know what I'm saying, Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, he changed from the brother he is to become that new brother, which is something that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, being born again.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, that's it on that. Anything else before I go into these Ezra's questions? Y'all good? All right. So the first one was 2nd Ezra 7:29, right? I believe that was the first one. I don't have the questions in front of me. I believe that was just a breakdown, right?
7:29. Question was Christ was named before he was born? So basically, what I was asking with that, if I may, sir, was Yahushua Mashiach himself, was he already named, and like the Most High already knew that he was going to be on the scene well before, you know, David and Solomon and everybody was even on the earth in the first place. Like, this was all preordained. Is basically where that question was coming from with that verse.
Yeah, he was. He had a name beforehand, before he was born. The precept would be Matthew's 1:21, I believe. Grab that.
Matthew 1:21.
Let's see something. Let me get there with you.
I got it when you're ready, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins.
You see what I'm saying? So the Most High knew beforehand, you know what I mean, that that his name was going to be Christ. You get what I'm saying? Or because you got to remember, he's anointed. You know what I mean? So when you go back into, I believe it's Isaiah, when it talks about Emmanuel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So all these different meanings. You get my point? Which all ties into Yahushua. You get what I'm saying? So that's why he's talked about in the Old Testament. So yeah, so yes, the Most High definitely knew, you know what I'm saying, what he was going to name that brother, or what that brother's going to be named.
So if I may, so was his name already decided to be Yahushua Mashiach at the time of Adam?
Okay. What I'll say is, I believe this is in Ezekiel, where the Most High say, I knew you before you was even in the womb.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I will pull that precept there. You get what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
And then the other one was 7:37, right?
Kind of what sir. Let me wipe that real quick. 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 37. The question is Ezra after Christ, or who is he? Or who is the Jesus in this verse? Okay, so first of all, this right here, this is Joshua right here. Well, there was more than one Yahushua, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible, right? This was Joshua, right? Who was running with Caleb at the time, because Joshua came after Moses, if I remember correctly, right? And and they were in the land of the Moab, in the land of the Moabites during that time. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So you could look that up by just looking up the name of Akan, because it says in the time of Akan. So that lets you know right there that this ain't talking about Yahushua. Okay. You get what I'm saying? What was it, two parts of that question or just that one? Let me verify. No, that was it, sir. Okay. It was just finding out who exactly that Yahushua. So is his name still Yahushua though?
Who, Joshua? Or are you talking about Christ?
No. So you said that was Joshua. So do you still pronounce it Yahushai?
Yes.
Okay, so it's still Yahushua.
Yes.
Okay, so just a side question from that.
Uh-huh.
Would it be wrong for anybody that's coming into the truth and whatnot that has a newborn child to name their son Yahushai? Would that be wrong?
I wouldn't do it. I'd have to double check, but I wouldn't do it just because. I mean, I get it because there were more, you know what I'm saying, more than one brother with that name. I get it. But because that name carries such a heavy meaning, you know what I mean? I would seek counsel on that before I was to get that name. You know what I mean? That's why if you notice, nobody in the school has that name.
Then they're going to become a Nazarite, right?
You get what I'm saying? So
that's right. Right after. Okay, go ahead.
Brother, if you want to ask a question, but type your question in, man. And Lord allow, you know what I'm saying, I'll be able to answer your question biblically. If not, I'll write your question down and I'll get an answer for you. I'll have an answer for you by next week's class.
Oh, this one.
I said seek counsel before you name your child Yahushai. You got to listen, brother. If you're going to be in this class, you got to pay attention. I'm not sure if you understand just how heavy of a name Yahushai truly is. But if not, you might want to look it up in Hebrew and get the definition. So the other one I had was on 2 Ezra 14:9.
You had 14?
Because I didn't get all of 11. So
okay. All right, 14:9. The question is, book of 2 Ezra chapter 14 verse 9. Is Ezra's dwelling with Christ before and after until the end of times? And is he already crowned for the kingdom?
Got you.
You want to pull the verse, sir?
No, I'm reading. No. What's his name? Ezra, right? So what this is saying is Ezra will be back in the earth and he'll be ruling under Christ. Is what this is talking about. They knew about Christ. They knew he was coming. This is what Ezra knew. You get my point? And the precept for that would be 2 Ezra 2:43. So that's what this is talking. That's what this is talking about right here. This is saying that Ezra will come back. You know what I'm saying? In the time of Christ's rulership, but he'll be ruling with Christ, but he'll be under Christ.
So is it almost saying like he's going to preserve Ezra's his spirit until then?
Yes, you could say that because because the Most High determines when you come back. You get what I'm saying? We don't determine when we come back.
Right.
The Lord determines when you come back.
So Ezra isn't somebody that's being recirculated on the earth, so to speak.
Could he? I mean, he could be. He could be. But what we know, if we don't know nothing else, because it doesn't say that verbatim, if we don't know nothing else, we do know that he'll be back doing Christ's rulership. Whether he's been here since then, you know what I'm saying? There's no scripture that says that, but we do know that regeneration or reincarnation is a real thing. You get my point? But what this scripture is letting you know is that he'll be back during the time of Christ's rulership. And so again, the precept will be 2 Ezra 2:43. Go ahead.
So if I may, because it says, "For thou shalt be taken away from all." Isn't that saying that he's being taken away from all wickedness, all just basically everything on the earth? Like the all is everything on earth, right? And then it proceeds to say, "And from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son." And that's why I was asking my question, like, is Ezra's up there like at this moment? Because we know that Yahushua is at the right hand of the Most High.
Now, when you say, do you mean like in human form? Is that what you're asking? Is Ezra up there in human form?
No.
With Christ?
No.
Okay.
But
his spirit. You're asking, has the spirit been sent back into the earth?
Not necessarily, because that's not the fullness of the question. Because my thing is, okay.
I wonder if I'm misunderstanding the question.
Okay. So let me ask you this then: is Yahushua dwelling at the right hand of the Most High?
Yes.
In human form or in a spiritual form?
Okay. It says that he's sitting on the throne, right?
Right.
So he can't be sitting on the throne in spiritual form. So he has to be in a physical form. That's in Revelations, the 22nd chapter, I believe it is.
Okay, so then it says, "For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee, and with such as be like." Okay, I do need you to explain that part. But so, such as shall be like thee. Okay, yeah. So from the time of Esdras, after he dies at that time, is he just kicking it with Yahushai's physical? Well, even at that time, before Yahushua was on the was on the throne, isn't there times that he's like, would he be altering between spiritual form and physical form then when he's at the right hand? Because right here in Esdras, he wasn't Yahushua yet, so he had to be in spiritual form if he was waiting to come back as Solomon. Would it be Solomon is next at this time of Esdras? Because he was already Adam, Melchizedek, so then he'd be waiting in a spiritual form at the time of Esdras, and then so during the time of Esdras he would be a spirit, correct?
This was the Apocrypha is after the last book in the Old Testament, so this was after Solomon.
So right. So after Solomon dies, he's a spirit that's supposed to be in rest, but because that's Yahushua, he would be at the Most High's right hand, right? Because even in Daniel, he's still at the right hand, at the throne of the right hand. So that would be spiritual, correct?
Okay.
And then moving forward, from my understanding, the only time that Yahushua would be on that throne in a physical sense is after he was Yahushua. So then where does that put Esdras at this time?
At this time, Ezra's spirit is with the Most High.
Right.
And Ezra won't be back in the physical form until Christ is in rulership. This doesn't say whether he's up there in spirit or in flesh. What this is saying is that in the time of Christ's rulership, Ezra will be on the earth ruling with Christ, but under Christ.
Right. Okay.
That's what this is saying. But it's not, I wouldn't read no more into it than that, because it's not saying he's up there like this or he's up there like that, or Christ is up there like this or he's up there like that.
But it is saying that after this life of Esdras, he's kicking it wherever he was told to kick it, somewhere where Yahushua is, up in the fourth dimension.
Yes.
Okay. So then, if I may, to go back on what I was just kind of getting at, so is Yahushua kind of alternating between ethereal? I don't know if we're allowed to use that word.
I definitely wouldn't use that word.
Okay, so between the fourth dimension and being in the physical form when he's sitting on his throne.
I wouldn't teach that without a precept.
Okay. All right, kind of okay.
That's the thing, bro. You say you've never heard of that name. That's because Jesus' name in Hebrew is Yahushua. That's why you never heard of it, right? Yeah, he's
someone.
he has an issue with our blatant racism and our homophobic stuff, right? But yet he still calls us morons. But yet, meanwhile, I can pull several scriptures that are against homosexuality. So are you in support of homosexuality? Is that why you have a problem with us speaking against homosexuality? Because what you need to understand, brother, is we love what the Most High love, and we hate what the Most High hates. The Most High loves the 12 tribes of Israel, and that's it. The Most High hates sinners. So it is our responsibility to speak against the sins of our people. That's called love. When you call somebody out for their fuckery. When you don't say something, when you know somebody doing something they ain't got no business doing, that's not love. You're waiting for them to wreck. You waiting on them to get jammed up. Because if you really love them, you'll say something. If you knew a brother had diabetes and you seen that he wasn't eating right, and the doctor then told him that if he keep eating the way he eating, he's gonna die, and you don't say nothing to him, that's because you want him to die.
Right.
The reason why we speak against homosexuals is because the Lord said that he'll put homosexuals to death. This is why we speak against homosexuality. The reason why we speak against the so-called white man, because the Bible speaks against the so-called white man. I don't understand why you don't understand this. But since you're asking questions, I'll entertain you since you're asking questions. And the cold part about it is for you to be a so-called black man, I can't understand for the life of me why you coming so hard up against black men who want to see nothing more than black men come up out the slums, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what we here for. You get what I'm saying? The scripture said there's a time for love and there's a time for hate. Are you familiar with that scripture? So you got to look at it like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother, my suggestion to you, man, is just, you know what I'm saying, just watch some more classes. Go back and watch some of the old tapes, and Lord willing, man, you'll wake up to this truth. And Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, you'll be standing on the side of us while we out there blazing that camp one day, Lord allow. And if not, Lord be with you. Come on with it.
I was gonna say it sounded like he has a white wife and he trade at the nighttime. That's what it sounds like. Since he obviously supports interracial marriage, since he's so offending. And maybe when it comes to homosexuality, maybe he got some issues in his life. I
mean, it's possible, man. And it's I hear you, brother. I get it, man. Listen, man, when we at camp, man, we at camp to teach our people, man. We're not out there to go back and forth and do a you know what I'm saying? This ain't about, you know what I'm saying, no machismo and all that bullshit. We out there to teach our people, man. You can either learn or you can keep it pushing. Same thing in these classes, man. If you ain't here to learn, that's what's up. You ain't here to ask questions that pertain to the Bible, that's what's up. If not, man, go find something better to do, man. We got better things to do. Come on with it.
You see what he said?
Nah.
He's a homosexual. So.
Oh, well.
Yes, I know. Just so that you hear.
Well, I mean, no, you don't. Shocker. I mean, but again, though, brother, that what you have to understand though is the reason why once again we speak against homosexuality is because the Bible is against homosexuality. These aren't my words. I didn't write this book. This book was around way before I was around. So if you have a problem with the words that I'm saying, you have a problem with this book. And if you have a problem with this book, then the Lord will destroy you like he's going to destroy the rest of these heathens. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry to break it to you like that, but that's our job. Our job is to tell the people what they don't want to hear, but what they need to hear. And what you need to hear, brother, is that homosexuality is a sin according to the Lord, and that sin is punishable by death. Just like weed, just like being an alcoholic, just like sleeping with another man's woman, just like sleeping with somebody outside of your nation, just like eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, on and on and on and on and on. You see what I'm saying? And if that's something that you can't accept, brother, ain't no thing. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But just trust and believe, because initially I said, Lord be with you. Right? But trust and believe, if you continue to live the lifestyle that you're living, the Lord will not be with you. And if you continue to live the way you're living, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Give me Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 real quick.
Sir. T's?
Yeah, please.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
You get my point? And that's the thing. Because you wasn't put to death immediately after you had your first homosexual experience, you thought that it was okay, or you thought that you were saved by the blood of Jesus, or you went to church the next Sunday and you prayed and asked the Lord for forgiveness, and so on and so forth. And so you thought that because you did that you was okay. I'm here to tell you, brother, you're not okay. And this ain't, you know what I'm saying? I could take it off this brother right here. Anybody who's living opposite of what the Lord told us to do is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Right. We just ready.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, the Lord made him gay. Okay. Moving right along. Let's get to what was that? Second Ezra's. Oh yeah. So the precept for Second Ezra 14 and 9 is Second Ezra chapter 2 verses 43 through 48 and Matthew's 19 and 28. If you want, we can do them. You know what I'm saying, next week, because we got about 6 minutes left.
I just get the notes from the other.
All right, sir. And then you had a question about Second Ezra's 14 and 46.
46.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question with that one, sir, is do we have those books that it's speaking of?
We're reading from them.
We are. So
you got it in your hand. He got it in his hand.
If I may.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go up to verse 44, So the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 44, it says,
Uh-huh.
in 40 days they wrote 204 books.
Uh-huh.
Verse 45, and it came to pass when the 40 days were filled with the highest spake, saying,
Mm-hmm.
the first that thou hast written, published openly,
Uh-huh.
that the worthy and unworthy may read it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 204 books.
Got you.
The Bible, including the Apocrypha, is in 204
So
books.
you do understand that when you read numbers in the Bible, you know that they're not literal numbers. You know, we never use literal numbers. Like, I thought I was gonna be here in 20 minutes. What do you say when you ain't seen somebody in a minute?
It's been a minute.
Even though it's been longer than a minute, right?
Right.
Well, damn, I ain't seen you in 1,000 years. Has it really been 1,000 years though? You get my point? So it's not a literal number. I can't remember if there's ever a time when the Bible is actually talking about a literal number.
Well, okay, but if it's giving you a specific number, though, isn't it different if it gives you a specific number versus when it just gives you 800 or 50?
How many rulers did the Revelation say it was on the earth right now? That's running the earth. The beast. What does the beast represent?
666.
Do you think it's actually 666, or is that just a number? When it said Christ was studying at 12, you know what I'm saying? Do you think it literally meant that he was 12? Just talking about a young age. You get my point? That ruling body is like a lot of people that come together, you know what I'm saying, that run this nation. Or the United States, I should say.
So does that also mean, like, to that point as well, that the 144,000 isn't an exact number for the ruling government?
It's possible, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. I'd have to double check to see, because for the most part, those numbers are not literal. You get my point? There are times when the number is literal. This isn't one of those times. And the proof is, give me Isaiah 34 and 16.
36?
No, 34 and 16.
30. Isaiah 34 and 16. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. From my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
You see what I'm saying? So these are those books. You know what I'm saying? There are no other books outside of these books. You get what I'm saying? So don't look at that number as like a literal number.
Okay.
To the brother's point, according to him, I said that he should have died after his first homosexual encounter, which is not what I said. That's why we keep these recordings. You get my point? This is why we keep these recordings. You know what I'm saying? For brothers who like to, you know what I'm saying, accuse other brothers of false accusations. What I said was, this brother was possibly under the impression that because he didn't get put to death
Right.
after his first homosexual encounter, that he would be forgiven by the Lord and that everything was good, is what I said. If you're gonna quote me correct. But it's okay, brother. I understand, man. I understand. Listen, man, there's some excellent counselors in this school that can help you out, though, brother. Real talk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you get past all the bullshit, whether you like us, love us, hate us, whatever the case may be, like I said, man, there is help for you in this school, brother. If you really want to, you know what I'm saying, you really want to get right, and you really want to serve the Lord, and you really want to be born again, you know what I'm saying? This is the place to be. There's no other place that's going to heal you from the trauma that you suffer from, brother. It's all right, man. We didn't all been through some shit. We didn't all come from all different forms of life, different backgrounds, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But through the spirit of Yahweh, through the spirit of Christ, you get what I'm saying? We become new men and new women in the name of Christ. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I've even spent as much time entertaining you the way I have, out of love for my people. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the thing. But again, brother, that's all right, man. Listen, the ISUPK been around since 1969 for a reason, man. Commander General Yohana did the things that he did to keep this school together, you know what I'm saying, for brothers like this brother right here. You know what I'm saying? Because this brother's in hell. For those that don't believe that hell is a condition, this brother's living in hell right now. You know what I'm saying? This is a black man, you know what I'm saying, who's walking around in America as a homosexual. That's hell. Being a black man in America is hell enough. Now try to be a black man in America and be a homosexual. You see what I'm saying? That's hell. You know what I mean? But like I said, brother, if you really wanted to get some help, there's help available to you. You get what I'm saying? Actually, there's a few precepts for 14 and 46. Actually, no, that's for 15 and 35. But like I said, if you want, I can let you take a screenshot of these notes after class. You know what I'm saying? We can go over them next week. You know what I'm saying? Lord allow, I have the ones in chapter 11 in chapter 12. Lord allow next week, but I'm going to continue to work on it, because again, we do not lean on our own understanding in here. You see what I'm saying? We don't sit here and philosophize so it can sound like we know every goddamn thing. I'm not prideful like that. If I don't know something, let me double check. I'm kind of sure, but not all the way. So let me find out for you. That's what we do in here. You get what I'm saying? From General Muhammad all the way down. You know what I mean? So that's what we do in here, man. Listen, man. This truth is all about brotherhood and sisterhood. You get what I'm saying? Not what, brother. You can watch online, brother. That's what you can do. You know what I'm saying? You can watch online. You know what I'm saying? You can check in. There's a number on the Facebook page, and I believe there's a number on the Nevada page on YouTube. ISUPK Facebook, ISUPK Las Vegas on Facebook, ISUPK Nevada on YouTube. You know what I mean? There's a number on there. You know what I'm saying? You can tap in. You know what I'm saying? If you really want help, brother, there is help available for you. Like I said, when you get past all the bullshit, man, you know what I mean? Like we're not here to play games. You know what I'm saying? We're here for the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that you won't even accept the fact that you're living in hell lets me know that you really don't want the help. You know what I mean? But for those who really do want help, ISUPK Las Vegas on Facebook, ISUPK Nevada on YouTube. You understand? Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have class from 7 to 9 p.m. You understand? We got classes going on every day of the week. You know what I mean? Just check out One West ISUPK online classes. You can check out Israelite headquarters. You know what I'm saying? There's classes coming out of Memphis, classes coming out of Syracuse, classes coming out of Yonkers, anywhere you can think of. You understand? There's a class. You know what I mean? So for those brothers and sisters, man, that's in those areas, you know what I'm saying, that's looking for the home of the truth, man, you look up those classes and you call those numbers, man, and those brothers will get you right. You had something?
No, sir. I was gonna say Kentucky too.
Kentucky as well. Cannot forget about Kentucky. There's some strong brothers out there in Kentucky, man. Some excellent brothers out there in Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? But with that, you know what I'm saying? Because we will not acknowledge the last thing that cat said. Pass the class to Priest and Officer Rock, man. I wish I didn't, but I saw it. No problem.
I feel like he on that. What's his name? On that. Man, I think that's all I have to keep it a butt. But anyway, we'll talk about that after class.
No.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, which can be found in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, by Shirah, which means 10th in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering to the priest. It's not mandatory. It can be whatsoever amount you would like.
Upholy Convocation. We do have the Feast of Purim. I believe it's coming up on, is it the 15th or the 15th?
February 14th and 15th.
Kind of what kind?
Good. Brothers and
Right.
sisters, be ready. It's going down.
So February 14th up until the February 15th, if you would like to partake in the Feast of Purim, contact your respective camp leaders so that you know what to do. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boots, pants, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. And I'm time. Class dismissed.
Please quit that tape.